Hello coders, I hope you are coding well. In the previous video, we wrote the code to call update goal status API in our Angular application. And now we need to start work on the APIs which we will use on the dashboard. And in today's video, we will create a stats API to get the stats related to the goals in our Spring Boot application. So let's get started. So in our Spring Boot application, first of all, we need to create a stats DTO. And to do this, we will right click on our DTO package and we will choose a new Java class and we will name this class as stats DTO. And after this, to get the getters and setters, we will annotate this class with @data annotation from Lombok. And now we need to mention the fields in this stat DTO. And for the stats related to goals, we need to send the number of achieved goals and the number of not achieved goals. So we will write private and the data type of this will be long and we will name this as achieved goals. And after this we will again write private and the data type of this will be long and we will name this as not achieved goals. And with this our stats DTO is completed for now. And in the future videos we will add more fields in this DTO. And now we need to create stats service, and to do this we will right click on our services package and we will choose a new package and we will name this package as stats. And after this we will right click on our stats package and we will choose a new Java class and we will name this class as stats service. And after this, for the class type we will give it as interface. And now let's right click again on the stats package and we will choose a new Java class and we will name this class as stats service implementation. And after this we will write implements statement and we will mention stats service. And now we need to annotate this class with @service annotation. And after the service annotation we will add the annotation of required aux constructor from Lombok. And now we need to inject goal repository in this stats service implementation, and to do this we will write private final. And after this we will mention goal repository and we will import this from fitness stacker server dot repository package. And after this we will name this as goal repository. And after this let's start writing a new method, and this method will return a stats DTO. And we will import this DTO from fitness stacker server dot DTO package. And after this we will name this package as get stats. And in the body of this method we need to write the code to get achieved and not achieved goals. And to do this let's create a long variable and we will name this as achieved goals. And after this we will use goal repository and then we will call a method count achieved goals. And after this let's create another long variable and we will name this as not achieved goals. And then we will again use goal repository and after this we will call count not achieved goals. And after this we need to create the object of stats DTO, and to do this we will write stats DTO and we will name this as DTO. And after this we will initialize this with new stats DTO. And after this we need to set the goals data in this DTO, and to do this we will write DTO and we will call set achieved goals method. And in this we need to write if condition to check if our achieved goals are null. And to do this we will write achieved goals and we will compare them with not equal to null. And if it is true then we will pass achieved goals, and if it is false then we will pass 0. And after this we need to set not achieved goals, and to do this we will again use DTO and we will call set not achieved goals method. And in this again we need to write if condition, so we will write not achieved goals is not equal to null. And in the case of true we will pass not achieved goals, and in the case of false we will pass 0. And after this at the end we will write a return statement and we will return this DTO. And with this our getStats method is completed in the stats service implementation. Now we need to create these two methods in the goal repository. And to do this let's open goal repository. And in this repository we need to create a method, and this method will return a long, and we will name this method as count achieved goals. And after this we need to write SQL query to count the achieved goals, and to do this we will write @query annotation, and in this we need to pass the SQL query. So we will write select count, and in the params we will pass G, which represents the goal, and after this we need to mention the table. So we will write from goal, and after this we need to mention the condition. So we will write where G dot achieved is equals to true. So this query will return the count of all the goals where we have achieved as true. And after this we need to create the second method, and this method will again return a long, and we will name this method as count not achieved goals. And after this we will add @query annotation on this method as well, and in the SQL query we will pass select count of G, and after this for the table we will write from goal, and after this for the condition we will write where G dot achieved is equals to false, and this SQL query will return the count of the goals where we have achieved as false. And with this our goal repository methods are completed. Now let's go back to stats service implementation, and in this class let's copy this, and after this we will open stats service and we will paste this here. And after this we need to create an endpoint to call this getStats method, and to do this we will right click on our controller package and we will choose new Java class, and we will name this class as stats controller. And after this we will open our activity controller and we will copy all these annotations, and then we will go back to the stats controller, and after this we will paste these annotations here. And after this we need to inject stats service in this stats controller, and to do this we will write private final, and after this we will mention stats service, and we will import this from fitness tracker server dot services dot stats, and after this we will name this as stats service. And after this in this controller we will start writing a new method, and this method will return response entity, and we will import this from org.springframework.http, and after this we will name this method as getStats, and in the body of this method we will write a return statement, and after this we will use response entity, and then to set the OK status we will call .ok method, and in this we will use our stats service and we will call a method getStats. And after this we will annotate this method with @getMapping annotation, and for the URL we will give this as /stats. And with this our goals stats API is completed. Now let's run our application. And as you can see our application is up without any errors. And now let's go to the Postman and let's test our getGoalsStats API. And in the Postman for the request type we will give this as get, and after this we need to give the basic URL which is http localhost 8080, and after this we need to give the controller URL which is /API, and at the end we need to give the endpoint URL which is /stats. And now to call the API let's click on this send button, and as you can see we got 200 OK, and in the response body we got the goals stats where achieved goals are 2 and not achieved goals are 0. And that's it for today's video. In the next video we will write the code to calculate the stats for workout duration, workout calories burned, total steps and total distance.